Okay, you're going to love this one. This is called the Cleanout. It's a liquid of vitality, and we don't just have 6 liquids of vitality. That's when we first started. We've got over 20 right now. But this one here is my personal morning cleanout drink, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Number 1, and number 2, the reason why we're going to want to do it, because we want to be conductive the rest of the day. So we have a machine here, and this little machine has a light bulb that's clear, and it has these 2 prongs we've designed to be able to make the plus and minus electrical. And if I put my tongue on that, we'll see if the light bulb goes on and you'll know I'm alive, or maybe be conductive. So we're going to go ahead and actually put our instrument in several different waters and different things just really quick, because the reason being behind this drink is for conductivity and to go ahead and wash out a ton of critters and to be able to sort of reestablish a new flora in the gut wall. This is the best drink that I've ever put together in a long time. But be careful, you can start out half of whatever we're going to say right now. Remember, work your way up, because this is going to work your intestinal tract just a little bit as far as the creatures, the garbage that lives inside, the accumulated toxins, pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, all that stuff. Maybe radiation too with a certain thing is going to get rid of the feces or fecal contamination, because that's what it is. It's contaminated feces when it stays in longer than 6 to 7 hours. Let's look at our list of materials here. We're going to use a big mouth glass like this. It's a 32-ounce glass. I'm going to go ahead and do the recipe right now since we're talking about it. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate, aluminum free. 1 teaspoon. So start out with a half. Don't use a full. This is food-grade fossil shell flour. Some people call it diatomaceous earth, or DE. Basically, they're small little diatoms made of silicates. They're made up of, they're like silicon little beings, so they're full of silica. Now, we're going to put in the same amount of sodium bicarbonate as we do the same amount of DE, or fossil shell flour. You can put this in foods and everything. And what it does is the sodium bicarbonate, remember, is a neutralizer. This is going to go in this drink, and it's going to start neutralizing a lot of things that basically are living in your gut wall that realistically are living in an acidic environment, and acidic environments breed and harbor black mold, breed and harbor certain types of creatures that are not really your best friend. Okay, so we're going to try to manipulate that whole terrain to a cleaner terrain. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the conductive minerals. This is ionic magnesium with trace minerals. And I'm going to put in about 15 drops. 10, 15. And if you put a little bit too much in there, you're going to have a little bit more loose feces. And if you put in too much, yeah, you'll get really watery feces. So put in about 10 to 15 drops, and this is going to start loosening up all the accumulated, I call it toxicity. You know, you can call it baggage, you can call it garbage, you can call it sewage. It doesn't matter, though. It's just, basically, it's toxicity. This is living silica. So I put in about 1 to 2 tablespoons of this. 1, 2, and this is a concentrated living silica. Now, after I get done drinking, I'll go ahead and actually use this dozen strain, 50 billion count. These are microbes these are called, they're probiotic foods that are going to reestablish more of a normal physiology in my gut wall. I'm going to wash it out. Remember, the name of this thing is the morning cleanout. So we're going to use 1 of these every day for a month, and then 3 times a week for about 6 months, and see how our intestinal tract does. You can do this drink every day. If I find out if I don't do it, what will happen is I'm going to have a whole load of feces sitting in my stomach that doesn't normally need to stay there. And that feces is low, it's dead, it's basically broken down material. You know, the first 12 inches of your intestinal tract is where you get all these minerals that get absorbed into your body. The first 12. So we're going to clean up the pipes. And I usually do it through the mouth, and that's a very simple way to do it. And you can also use the same exact, pretty much the same recipe, but we'll change it a little bit. We're going to add more to certain things and take away less. To do enemas. Very important to clean from the mouth out and from the out in. Remember, this is a 35-foot tube from mouth to anus. Is outside your body. It's not inside. It is outside. And the first 12 inches is where you get all your absorptions so this machine can run. And if it's clogged with black mold, if it's clogged with gunk, with pesticides and just whatever, trans fatty acids, then your body can't absorb any of the minerals, no matter organic, schmorganic, no matter what you put in. If this is dirty, the first 12 inches of your intestinal tract, these are ion transport. That's why this says ionic. Okay? An ion is like a small little particle, one, not colloids, not a bunch, but just one that can fit into a keyhole. And if it's not in ionic layers, it's not going in. Okay, most of the vitamins we buy, they can't get in because they're elemental. They have to be broken down, and best is plant-based and or ionic conductive minerals, because these things are transmuted in your system very quickly and easily. We got the silica, we got the probiotics. I also, same thing as with the probiotics. Remember, this is a terrain modification. You're going to take the sublingual B12 and you'll take also the multi-Bs and you put them under your tongue after you're done with this little drink. But this is re-stimulating your system. Sublingual, hold it in your mouth for 5 minutes. Now, this is Soleil salt, and we're going to put in about 3 to 10 drops, but I'm just going to put in 5, about 5 of them. That's for conductivity too, and I'm going to show you how things conduct, because this drink is super conductive, super. Let's keep this now on the side. This is our ingredients that we have. The only thing I didn't put in there yet is the fulvic acid, so we're going to keep both of these right here. So let's do some conductivity now. There's a term here that I like for you to understand. Light force is directly proportionate to life force. Okay, so light force, and you're going to see the amount of light that this machine conducts between these two prongs will turn on the light bulb either a little bit or it'll turn it on more or more, depending on how much conductivity the minerals are. And this body is a machine. It is a conductive magnet. It is run by magneticity. It's run by let's call it impulse direct current. It's a machine, so let's make it more conductive. Let's go ahead and see what conducts and what doesn't. I bought a gallon of distilled water from the store. Distilled. It's the same as like sort of RO, reverse osmosis. This has been cleansed, and particles that are living in the water or are in the water are taken out. It's a super, super clean, dead water. It's distilled water. So I'm going to put some distilled water in here, in this glass, about 4 ounces or so. And same in here. We really don't even need that much. Actually, I'm going to taste it for you just to tell you the taste, because distilled water really tastes good. Besides the taste of the plastic in there, it's super sweet, and people think it's good for them. It's not. So don't drink distilled water or RO water unless you put your minerals back into the solution. Okay, and then we're going to put a little bit of water also in this tray, because this is the tray we're going to test our salt to show you it has conductivity. Now, if I put this in this glass of water, which is just distilled, you'll notice that the light bulb does nothing. And I'm going to show you with this machine, and this is called a total dissolved solid machine. We sell these. They're like $25 or so. And it's really good for you to find out how many particles or parts per million of totally dissolved solids are in your water, from rust to whatever's in there. Okay? Poisons, anything. So you notice the light bulb's not on. So let's take that out. Okay? Actually, you know what? I didn't even turn it on yet, so let's turn it on. Okay. Well, at least basically, because I already know it's not going to light up. As you notice, the bulb, I can let it sit in there all day. It is not going to go ahead and light up because there's 0 parts per million. And I'll show you in here. I'm going to put this in here, and you'll see that that says 0, 0, 0 parts per million, which means there's nothing in there, and this is real distilled water. They did a good job. There's nothing in it. No parts per millions of anything. It's just solid H2O. 2 hydrogens plus and a minus and an oxygen. That's it. Okay, now, I'm going to show you, same thing. Light's not going to go on, just so you think we're not playing any tricks here. Okay, nothing in the glass that had residue. Okay, this one too. Nothing in the glass that has residue. Okay, now let's start making conductivity. So we know this one does nothing. That's the distilled water. So this one here, we're going to go ahead and put these conductive magnesium minerals. And most of the minerals you're taking, remember, they are non-conductive, 0. You're wasting your money, and plus you're clogging up your system. They must go ahead and have minerals. Minerals conduct power. Watch, there's one drop. Let's just see if I put too much water in here, but let's put 2. There we go, just 2 drops. You can see the light starts to come on. But let's just put in like we put in the drink. 15 drops. Okay? That means that these 2 little prongs are making a end circuit to bring electricity to the bulb. This is my clean out here to wipe out any minerals that are in here. And you'll notice that that has 0 minerals, 0, 0, 0. Nothing is conductive. And that water will take away your power. Your body's a battery. Parasites that live in your body, microfat, all different types of toxins and different things that are sucking your battery are sucking this life force. Remember, light force is life force. Okay, again, you'll notice light bulb, in and out, very quick and very responsive. The water is very conductive. So let's try now this one. And what we're going to use for testing conductivity is, let's get a few drops of our Soleil salt in here. Show you how this does. Okay, here we go. 1 drop. Let's see if that does it. 2. Okay, and you notice this has pretty decent conductivity, but if I want to have more conductivity to it, okay, I put about the same amount. I'm just showing you the amount of conductivity we're adding to this. I put about 5 drops in mine there, and that light turns on pretty decent. But if I wanted, because this is our Soleil salt, blue-green algae prism water. Now, if I want to make this more salt conductive, because it makes it taste better if it's more conductive, what do you think I do? And it doesn't change any flavor. I put in another 10 more drops of this, and now all of a sudden we've got ourselves a super conductive, okay, as you'll see. And there's just too much water in there because basically it's diluting it down. But these are full of minerals. And if I put this in here, you'll see what happens. It just bright, bright, bright. Okay, this is full strength, 26% pure conductivity. On, off, on, off. You can look at it, smoking, look. Okay, that's how much conductivity is in there. Whoa. All right, now let's do this real quick here. This is a piece of kale pulled out of the garden. Let's see if it's got minerals. It's not checking for life force, remember? It's checking for minerals. And you know what I may have done here? You know what I have to do is I have to clean the electrodes because they wind up getting some char on there. You can see, look at all the stuff that came off on the knife. And this is, these are copper electrodes, just like you'd have in the walls. And your nerves are just like these. They're electrodes. But they need conductivity to be able to jump across the axon to the dendrite. Remember, this is this jump. Tank load the jump program, electricity jumps across there. This mineral complex gets the jump to start. Okay, so let's go back into the piece of kale. And this has minimal, this has minimal minerals in it. You think you're going to get a lot of minerals from your food? Most likely not too many, as you'll see. Let's get this going here. A little dry in there. Well, I got to turn it on again. Okay. At least you know that the thing is not, it's not a game. You can listen to it. It's frying. Okay. It smells good too. It smells like Mama's broccoli. Now, just because something's green doesn't mean, it doesn't have the life force it does, of course, is something that's mature. Okay, this smells like perfume. This smells sort of bitter. Okay, this is a frozen banana. These all came off our trees, all these fruits here, guava and also nectarine. Now, let's poke this guy. And this is a greeny. This is not really mature, but you can see it lights the light. Organic food lights light. Any dead food will not light this light. So what you do is, when you're cooking, you add minerals all the time to your food, all the time. But you can hear this thing's sizzling. Okay, there we go. Let's wipe this thing off. And let's go to this is frozen. Bing, bing. Minerals. It doesn't kill the minerals. Remember, just because you freeze things doesn't mean the conductivity or the minerals that are in the food are not going to work. The life force is killed when you freeze it. Of course it is. Okay, but we're talking conductivity, and this is how your body regenerates itself, and this is how your body how its nervous system starts to work by having conductivity. Now, this is citrus. I don't really like a lot of citrus and or, unless it's lemons or anything, fruits, because most of them are non-conductive. They only really have a bunch of sugar in there, and they're really low on minerals because they're not grown like we think they are. The best, there we go, it's just coming on right now. And they've got minerals in them. But the best minerals, remember, come from green leafy vegetables right away. And this is the last one here, and this is a sweet lemon. This came off our tree. It smells like Palmolive dishwashing liquid. But this is the same. It's not really conducting that much. As you can see, nothing's happening. Okay, so there are certain fruits and certain things that have a little bit of salt or magnesium minerals, alkaline, potassium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, zinc, boron, and silicon. These are conductive magnets. Let's use some, this is straight, let me dump this is straight silica. And you'll be able to see that this also has conductibility to it. Okay? You're trying to put in things that are conductive, not stealers, but conductive enhancers. Your body's a magnet. You can see it inside here. It's bubbling in the silica. Okay, it's making little bubbles in there, see them? So this tells you there's a lot of conductivity in there. Here we go. I almost forgot about well, it's sort of like a chocolate bar, but these are all candy bars, okay? Whatever way you want to call them. They're non-conductive, as you will see. I'm going to poke this right in the middle without going through and getting me, because I know it'll conduct through me. And you'll notice that's poked right through. And we're just showing you, remember, not the amount of toxicity in it, not the amount of chemicals, not the amount of synthetics, not the amount of fakeness and or goodness. We're just showing you conductivity. And as you can see, the light's on, zero conductivity. Remember, your nervous system runs on conductivity. Your eyes, your hands, your feelings, everything are an extension of your nervous system. How much light force do you have? Well, if you put this in you, you're not going to get any light force, which will transmute itself to life force. Remember, light force is really in disguise a precursor to life force, or chi. We've talked here, as you can see, 30 seconds and not a twinkle. Not a twinkle. So this here is a very non-conductive piece of poison, as I would say, to your electrical body. Maybe your physical body will love it, your yeast, mold, and fungus will love it, but what is not going to like it is your electrical body, the magtricity body, which is, remember, the part of your body that helps you maintain an architectural premise of being clean is lean and lean is clean. And having the architectural presence means that your body has enough electricity, the body's blueprint, its system tells the cells what to turn into. Remember, the heart cell, the brain cell, the toe, the fingers, any of the cells, they're all the same. They differentiate depending on your electrical conductivity. Is maybe age just a loss of conductivity? Well, it is. When you accumulate all the stuff in your body, you lose the amount, like putting all this stuff in here will lose the amount of light force in the conductivity, which basically is the amount of life force that makes it so you could regenerate. Okay, now, last but not least here, we're going to put this. This is niacin, and I use about, first to start with, this is a pure niacin. What I use is about, this is a 500 milligram pill, so I'm going to use about 200 milligrams of that. And that's about a third of that down or so, 150 to 200. I would not suggest using this thinking that it's not going to do anything. It's going to most likely make your face turn bright red, your body, and make your head itch, and sort of maybe give you some pretty weird feelings for 20 minutes. It's called the flushing. It's B3. It's just niacin. And then what it's doing, it's releasing your histamine. So this is why I do it every morning. I have this special stuff in here. Okay, remember, we put in a teaspoon of fossil shell flour, a teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate aluminum free. I put in 2 tablespoons or so of living silica, 200 milligrams of the niacin. I put in about 15 to 20 drops of the magnesium, and I put in about 5 drops or so of the Soleil salt. And all we're going to do now is we're going to fill this with alkaline water, because I want a high pH water in this. So I'm going to put in about a pH of 9.5, and I'll show you how to do this. This is called a pH, MV, and ORP meter. This meter is going to show us what percentage of hydrogen, which pH is the water that we're making here through electrolysis, and it also will tell us how many minus millivolts, because your body, remember, eats electricity. It doesn't eat positive electricity, though. It eats negative form, OH minus electricity or minus charged electricity. This is our brew that we made. This has got the fossil shell flour and the sodium bicarbonate and all the minerals, silica and all that. And I'm going to show you, this is an Echo brand. We get a special deal with these. They're about $2,200 or so retail. We can get them shipped to you and everything for about $1,500 or so. So this is what I use. It works really good. I get about I just try to drink about a pH of 9.5 or so, which is really good for everybody. I'm going to touch this now. You can see it says 3.47. The more alkaline you have inside you, remember, the more you're gonna get more. Well, your intestinal tract is going to get very loose. So I'm going to touch this now. You can see it's going up very quickly on the pH meter. Okay, it's gone up to 8 right now. And it's hitting 9 right now. There we go. And this will take about 15 seconds for it to get where I want it to get. But we're going to fill this glass with about 9.5 water or so. So it's about 9.25 right now, 9.3. Now, this side over here, this is the acid water side, and this is where it separates these two waters. And you can see when I touch this one, immediately, look, it's going to go 9, and it goes down 8, 7, 6. This is the acid water, and this is the water you're taking out that basically, at least this type of water, is going to take away your conductivity. It's going to take away your cellular and nervous system magtricity body. And you can see it's going down to about 3.5 or so. Okay, so I'll do this again one more time. Here we go, 4, 5. My meter's slow, it needs a battery, but it's going up here. 8. Anyways, you can see it's going to hit the same thing. It's just my meter that's slow. It'll go up to about 9.4, 9.5, because that's how I had it registered before. It's up to 9 through 9 right now. Okay, so that's good. So let's fill our glass up with this water. And I'm also going to put in, for the structure, I'm going to put in an amethyst crystal. And this is going to cause an immediate structure to a 6-sided hexagon. No matter how this thing looks, even if it looks ugly, doesn't matter. It still will go ahead and keep its 6-sided hexagon shape. So I'll just drop that in there. Be careful, though, not to go ahead and break the glass, because the glass only has a hardness of number 4. But, and I'm going to turn this on right now. I'm just going to turn it on acidic. This automatically cleans itself, but I still like to run them for about 30 seconds to a minute or so on acid, just to clean the electrodes from positive to negative. Then it goes from negative to positive. I just switch the polarities. Okay, all we're going to do is we're going to stir up our recipe really good, and I'm going to put in about 3-4 drops of fulvic. And this is an acid, so this is super alkaline. So it's going to sort of cause some bubbles to react. I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3. That's all I want, is just 3 or 4 drops. You can see they're bubbling on top already. And I just mix that up. I'm going to shut this off because it's done cleaning. And I drink. Bon appetit. And this is the morning washout. In an hour, let me tell you, you stay close to home because you're going to have to release all of the, well, accumulated garbage that's in your sewage pit. It's going to start to finally go down the toilet to where it belongs. Here we go. I'm going to see how this, you can also put a 1/4 teaspoon of stevia in here if you like too, but I don't need to. And or you can put a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper if you want to increase this this mobility, because this is pretty powerful the way it is, but if you add cayenne to anything, that'll go ahead and exponentiate whatever you've got in there, because it actually opens the cells up to be able to take in more. Give it a shot. Bon appetit, like I said. And it has no smell to it at all. Now I would drink that whole thing, or at least half, wait about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I drink the other half, if I can't drink the whole thing at once. Now, in 20 minutes, my face is going to turn bright red. Okay, it's going to start itching and stuff, and start manipulating all your tissues, because this is histamine that's coming out of your body. And actually, once you put this in your system, B3 is pretty much deficient in everybody. Okay, so are the B vitamins. That's why, again, once you're done with this, you put the B12 and the B-Vite, the multi underneath your tongue, and you've got yourself your minerals not only for the day, you've had more minerals and more. I'm trying to burp. Don't burp, though. Try to hold it down. Remember, this is gaseous exchange from the stomach acid that you've got. It's going to wash it down, and, of course, I would drink the rest right now and try to hold your gas here. Okay, that's a liquid of vitality, and this is the morning washout. I'll see you next time.
Important reminder: all information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.